All right. We're going to do some relationship advice reading. Okay. Something I used to do on my other stream, and it was. Let's turn my foot massager on. It was a lot of fun because usually everyone involved is an idiot. So let's get started. Here's the first one I found. What do you do? Oh, I'm sorry. What do I do after hearing the love of my life say, "Just so you know, I don't consider you as my girlfriend anymore"? After saying he got fed up with my attitude and that he deserves better, I wanted to give him what he deserves and change my rotten attitude. I apologized to him and begged him not to leave me. It hurts so much knowing that I'm already starting to lose him. You lost him. I feel like that's like the joke on almost all of the relationship advice memes I do is like to just look at the camera and be like, it's already over. Click, done. First of all, look, if he said that he's fed up with your attitude, I'm gonna venture a guess. I'm gonna venture a guess and be like, hey, this probably isn't the first time it got brought up. I'm betting you had more than one opportunity to change this, and you didn't. And it wasn't until he finally said, I'm done, I deserve better than this, that you got scared of being alone and scrambled to say whatever you could to try and keep him around. I know that might be a little harsh, but if you admit that you had a rotten attitude the whole time of your relationship by saying wanted to give him what he deserves and change my rotten attitude, that implies that you did indeed have a rotten attitude. I can't blame the guy for wanting to leave. He probably does deserve better. And on a lot of my relationship advice things, I kind of talk about relationships like jobs, okay? And from your perspective, I'm not going to beat you up about this. That's not the point, to be like, you're an idiot and you're wrong and you need to, whatever. The thing is, when you change, people don't always have the ability to accept it. It's not a willingness. It's very, very, very hard to accept change in people, and this works in both ways, right? Yeah. This works both ways, right? Like when you are with someone who's really, really good to you, and all of a sudden they start being a jerk to you, it's really hard to accept that. Your brain just doesn't understand it. It can't let that go. So in the opposite way, it's very, very hard when you've been mean to someone and you start being nice to them again for them to go, oh, all right, I forgive you. If you've ever been to an animal rescue and seen a dog that's been abused, you might have seen this effect. You are not the one who abused it, but as you reach in, the dog jumps back, right? Because it's been abused. It doesn't matter if you have good intentions or not, and especially if you were the abuser. So here's my actual advice. All of that is what I consider analysis of the situation, but my advice is this, referring back to why I said I talk about things as jobs. You have learned a valuable job skill, right? That you had a rotten attitude, and that can push a man away, and that people deserve better than that. So you've decided to make a change in that. And so from here forward, you can bring that change to the next relationship you're in. And I hope that you do. Please don't torment this guy trying to repair something that he doesn't want to be in. Move forward, fix yourself, try and make sure that this isn't a situation that you're going to create again in the future, and find someone else who you can treat better. And don't lose them this time. That's my advice. It's my advice on that one. Shall we do another? Let's find another. I like to find short ones to read, because otherwise people get really crazy with some of these sometimes, where you're like, I don't want to read a novel. I just want to kind of, but they just, oof, fuck. The title of this one. Oh. You ready? Girlfriend cheated on me twice. We've broken up since and have been apart for 3 weeks now. I went to drop off her car key to her place, and it looks like the guy already lives with her. I'm so fucking angry that I put myself in the same position twice. I just hate her so much, and I'm so angry. This requires a little bit of interpretation. She cheated on him twice, and then they must have broken up. And now he goes to drop the car keys off, and the new dude's car is already there. I am not laughing at your pain. I am laughing at the cruelty that is reality. At the way in which circumstance can have no end depth in its ability to torment. You get cheated on twice, and that is awful. It is understandable to hate her. When you say, why should you hate someone? Because they, committed an ultimate betrayal of my trust. It's a pretty decent reason. Granted, I've moved from hating exes during the breakup to a few years go by, and then I'm like, they're whatever. I don't like her. I don't want to be around her. But I don't have feelings. Hate. Wouldn't describe it. Now, I mean, I get what you're feeling, right? So one time, me and my girlfriend broke up, and we were doing that whole, like, you break up, you get back together, you break up, you get back together kind of thing, right? Where you're like apart for 2 days, and then you're back together. And we were apart for 2 weeks, and I came back, and we were back together for a night, and we bang, and then she just gives me this real weird look, and I'm like, what was that? She's like, what was what? I'm like, that look you gave me. Okay, like 20 minutes of this goes by before she finally breaks down, and she's like, I slept with someone else. And I'm like, in the 2 weeks we were apart? She's like, yeah. I was like, who? Well, of course it was the dude who I was jealous of that caused the breakup in the first place. My jealousy was a big problem, but clearly it was kind of valid. So, I was mad. I was like, that's really, 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 really shitty. She's like, I have to tell you something else. I slept with someone else too. Just some dude. I don't know. I barely knew him. I just met him that night. And that was the first time I've ever, first and only time I've ever punched a wall. And I punched a hole right in the wall. She was like as far away from me as the camera is, and I just went poof. I'll be back tomorrow to patch that. I don't really ever want to speak to you again. And I got my shit and I got out. I mean, that shit can hurt more than anything. I tell you this story to empathize, to say, I know that kind of heartbreak. And what you had to feel pulling up and seeing this person's car there is the signature at the bottom of the contract of the big fuck you that this girl has handed you. It's really sad that you had to put up with that. But I'm glad you got out. I'm glad you're not with this person anymore, and that you can find someone who hopefully won't treat you like shit, because that's clearly what you got. There's not a lot of advice here aside from to say that your feelings are totally valid. That's why I told you that story. That's how I felt. I don't think I've ever felt so much anger in my life. I'm not an angry person. It's just not me. But oh man, another time a chick cheated on me. The dude calls me and is like, "Hey, I gotta tell you, your girlfriend's been cheating on you with me. I want to be with her. I want to marry her." Well, she'll probably cheat on you, but have fun, I guess. Like, there's just nothing you can do in those situations. You are a victim. I mean, sure, maybe you made yourself undateable and totally like the easiest person in the world to cheat on because you're just such a jerk and you're bad in bed and you never pay attention to her. Then she should have broke up with you. She should have broke up with you. End of story. She was in the wrong in every way here. Except for having him over after you broke up. That's her fucking position. Hurts like hell. Oh my god, I can't imagine how much it hurts. But hey, she's allowed to do that, right? You're allowed to fuck her sister if you want to. Which I encourage you to do. But I'm sorry. Mom, don't say sorry for things you didn't do. I feel you. I wish this didn't happen to you. Stay strong. Keep trying. Not all of them are that terrible. Some of them are real bad. A lot of them are real bad. Not all of them are that terrible. So stay in the game, mate. That's all I can say. Good luck.